But there's no epidemic of male violence, right? It's hardly any of them, right? It's irrational for women to be afraid of men, right?
This is one of the most disturbing trends that have popped up on the internet. I mean, with all the nonsense going on, with all the incels, is it surprising that such thing actually came up?
Sexless young men, typically throughout history, throughout time, have been the group to worry about. So strongly associated with violence that we call it the young male syndrome in our field, that this has always been a huge problem.
Now, here we have 70,000 men in a Telegram group casually chatting about how to grape women, including their own mothers and sisters. Yes, humanity officially hit rock bottom and then grabbed a shovel to keep digging, like for real.
The initial report is also in German and I will be translating for you. First of all, I don't really enjoy a lot of news outlets saying, oh, thousands of people are doing this. It's thousands of men. Not just everybody, not just people in general, thousands of men doing this. And this comes only a few weeks or months after this other, Telegram group chat was exposed, I believe in East Asia.
Now let's unpack this absolute dumpster fire of a story, shall we? Well, German investigators uncovered actual grape chats on Telegram because apparently some men woke up one day and thought, hey, you know what's better than coffee? Discussing crimes against humanity with absolute strangers online. These groups have about 70,000 members. I mean 70,000 big ones. Now that's more people than the population of Monaco. Imagine a Monaco full of the worst men alive. It's like the literal League of Doom, but instead of plotting world domination, they are trading tips on how to ruin lives. Wildly enough, some of these chats include men bragging about drugging their own wives so that their bros can assault them. One guy even posted a link to sedatives disguised as hair products. I'm sorry, what? Some people are freakingly sick out there. Oh, and don't think that these groups went away after they have been exposed. Nope. Every time one group gets shut down, the members just get a shiny new invite to another one. It's like a sick, perverted hydra. Cut off one head and three more pop up with worse usernames. It is disturbing to note that this revelation came at the same time as the Avignon mass grape trials in France, where 51 men, including the human garbage fired Dominique Pellicot, drugged and assaulted his own current ex-wife.
The French woman at the centre of a mass rape trial has told a court of her will and determination to change society. Giselle Pellicot's husband admitted to drugging and raping his wife, as well as inviting dozens of other men to rape her over a 9-year period.
Now, how does this level of depravity even exist? Were these men born without souls, or did they trade them for discount coupons on sedatives? Interestingly enough, this news made its way to X and things went wild. One user by the name Broadway Baby made a post, and she said, to every guy who came into my comments on the Giselle Pellicot article to yell, not all men, it's time to keep quiet. Investigation uncovered more than 70,000 users in Telegram group chats admitting to graping women. And then she also had the sidekick to buttress her point, saying things like, well, women will say men only want one thing and are dangerous, and men will say not all men. Then men will go ahead to tell their own daughters, all men are dangerous and only want one thing. Well, kind of, she almost has a point. Every woman, or almost every woman, or probably a lot of women out there have a horror story or two about men, but apparently no man knows a single grapist, right? Of course, not everyone bought the whole all men are dangerous narrative. In fact, one user by the name Based Satan had this to say. All of a sudden, you have a lot of Satans running around the X space. Well, he posted this. 70k sounds like a lot, but it's less than 0.0002% of the male population. Over 99.9% of men are not grapists. Sure, statistically speaking, that is true, but some might argue that If there are 70,000 cockroaches in a building, are you gonna chill because it's only 0.0002% of the world's cockroach population? Or are you gonna burn the place freaking down and move to Mars? Now guys, as sad as it may seem, this isn't the first time encrypted apps like Telegram or forums like 4chan have been exposed as breeding grounds for aberrant behavior. Do you guys remember the incel forums that actually gained notoriety after Elliot Rogers' tragic mass shooting in Isla Vista, California in 2014?
Elliot Roger here. I've been alone for a very long time. I've experienced nothing but loneliness and misery. Problem is girls. I don't know why you girls are so...
These platforms thrive on echo chambers, amplifying harmful ideologies and desensitizing individuals to the humanity of others. It's like digital gasoline poured onto already burning misogynistic tendencies.
The most dangerous person in the world, we're producing millions of them, and that is a lonely, young, broke male. The number of high school teenagers that sees their friends every day has been cut in half, that we're slowly but surely sequestering from each other.
This is your daily reminder that men rape women, men rape other men. Men have raped dead women, men have raped women in a coma.
And what about the controversial, infamous Andrew Tate, the self-proclaimed alpha male whose rise to fame was built on teaching men how to dominate women? His brand of toxic masculinity reached millions, creating a cult-like following that justified treating women as objects.
You also said that you could have multiple partners, but a female that was with you couldn't also have multiple partners?
Well, a woman could say that same thing if she decided. She could say, I can sleep with multiple men, but my men can't sleep with multiple women if she so choose. We're all free individuals, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't agree if a woman said that.
I would personally find that revolting.
Guys, it is important to know the psychological toll that events like these have on their victims. The discovery of these chats is not just a headline. It's a haunting reminder for victims of sexual assault, and survivors often struggle with feelings of isolation and self-blame. And knowing that there are communities, entire communities, dedicated to celebrating their trauma can be devastating. Imagine being a survivor, scrolling through the news and realizing that your pain is being discussed casually in these groups like some form of twisted recipe exchange. It's cruel beyond comprehension. And the revelation also reinforces the fear that women already live with daily. Women are told to carry pepper spray or don't wear revealing clothes, yet stories like these make it abundantly clear the problem isn't women's behavior. It's a pervasive cultural issue that allows predators to thrive in plain sight. And if you take a look at the ex-post made by Broadway Baby, that is Kelly, you understand something, that there's a stark divide in how society processes these type of things. On one hand, you have men and women rallying together and saying this has to stop. Men must hold other men accountable. And on the other hand, you have the Not All Men Brigade, whose knee-jerk reaction is to defend their gender rather than address the root cause of the problem. Take Ryan Campbell's tweet for example. I think it's all men. Well, while this statement is controversial, it brings up a valid point. A lot of people believe that even if it's not all men who are perpetrators, well, the silence of good men often perpetuates the culture of abuse. It's like the bystander effect on steroids. The more people look the other way, the more emboldened predators actually become. And on the flip side, the user-based Satan's comment about statistics raises an important counter-argument. Painting all men with the same brush is actually counterproductive. However, the rebuttal also skirts the core issue. How do we change a culture that not only permits, but in some cases celebrates such behavior? Frankly speaking, if we want to get to the root cause of this problem, it is not enough to shut down these groups. Yes, Telegram needs to be held accountable, but the real battle is cultural. Schools, workplaces, and families need to actively dismantle misogynistic attitudes. And of course, the government needs stricter regulations on platforms that host such content. Then you have men, yes, men, We need to step up and challenge our peers when necessary. Now guys, where do we go from here? Are we willing to have the uncomfortable conversations needed to change this culture? Or will we let these Telegram chats be just another news cycle we eventually forget? Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section on how we can actually help the society to become better and address toxic masculinity, misogyny that fuel these issues.